Um, just before I start this, well, before people start coming in, I'll just quickly say, because I know people are always interested in what is it that I eat. So right now I'm having avocado on toast with cracked pepper and a bit of yeast extract. Today I had a roast dinner, gluten-free, sugar-free, everything else. The other day I had like mashed potato, with peas, sweet corn, these falafel sausages that are sugar-free, gluten-free. I've perfected, well, depends on who you ask, but I really make good baked beans now without any sugar as well. Yeah, just also I made a crumble last night, which was sugar-free as well. Just used a bit of maple syrup, but I used things like I get coconut, desiccated coconut, and put it in the blender so it's like a powder and it acts like a sweetener. Also use a bit of maple syrup, a high-grade maple syrup, to sweeten things, and I did like a clementine, apple, cinnamon stew, and then had for topping it was like pecans, oats, desiccated coconut, raisins and stuff like that. It's really nice. Also, I used I made custard without any sugar as well, and that's really nice. I've what else have I done? Oh yeah, made a guacamole with like a bean chili. Just loads of different variety recently. And I was thinking this week, you know, all these different dishes. It would have been good if I actually just took a recording of it, just to put on my YouTube. But I'm gonna be doing a few videos this week that I've prepared. Been a bit busy recently, but yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'll just say the recipe that I use now. Hi Thomas. The recipe, basically I start with a little bit of olive oil, coconut oil if I was recovering probably, and I fry my garlic for about 30-40 seconds just so it doesn't brown. Then I add passata and tomato puree, and then I mix herbs, a tiny dash of maple syrup for sweetener, or you can add desiccated coconut with ground it down into a flour as a sweetener. Then you add just a tiny bit of yeast extract, and I like to add more garlic personally, but you can do that to taste. And then I add the beans, and then what I do sometimes, that's the bean dish that I do sometimes, but sometimes I'll add in a second tin of whole earth beans, which is sugar-free as well, and that goes really nice together. But I'm gonna do a video on depersonalization within the next few days. Yeah, so Adrenal recovery is asking me, did I ever feel dizzy when exposed to certain light? At the very start of my illness, I was very sensitive to fluorescent lighting. So yeah, I always look, when I was at the peak of my adrenal fatigue, I really tried to avoid light as much as possible. I used to black out my room. I was so sensitive to light. It's very common for people with adrenal burnout to have sensitivity to light. What do you think about candida? Do you think it's related to CFS? And what do you think about distillized water? When it comes to distilled water, I went through a phase of really trying to find what the best water I could drink for recovery was, and I went through the idea of getting distilled water, reverse osmosis water, everything, and I came to the conclusion that I just stuck to spring water, and Harrogate do these water bags and that's what I used. It was 10-litre water bags. But yeah, distilled water is dead water from everything that I've read. I personally wouldn't use it to put in my body. As for candida, do I think it's related to CFS? Honestly, I think if you have an overrun body, you're going to have a multitude of problems. I know that I thought I had candida issues for a long time, but yeah, it can definitely have an impact, but I think people that are just treating candida as the only problem that they have is a bit potentially misguided. I think that if you sort out your diet, remove all the refined sugars, flours and stuff, and just stick to whole foods, you can't go wrong. You need to focus on other things in your life as well. Did you have brain zaps like tremors? It's driving me nuts. Also muscle cramps. I look like Exorcist sometimes. I used to get muscle cramps, especially in my legs. I used to get really weird symptoms. I was talking to a guy on a Skype call the other day about the weird symptoms that I used to get, and I used to get one where I'd be walking down the stairs, saying my hand was on the banister, and I moved it down. It would feel like my hand was behind me. You know what I mean? So it was like a delayed feeling where my hand was. You get some really weird symptoms. Sorry, let me just reply to someone that's just trying to phone me. But yeah, I was just going to say, the amount of symptoms that crop up when you have been struggling with chronic illness for a long time, you can drive yourself insane trying to figure out what it is. I honestly, if you've been to a doctor and they're saying you're fine and everything, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just focus on doing everything you can to feel better. I've been bedbound for a couple of months now. I find I have to force myself to eat. Any tips? Okay, this is the spiral people get into with chronic illness, is that when it gets so bad that you have struggling to have enough energy to make food and decent food at that, you end up just going for shit, and then it just makes your symptoms even worse. When it comes to that, I think if I was in that position, do you have anyone helping you? Firstly, that's obviously an idea, but I'd probably make a massive pot of whatever, just loads of healthy stuff. I would stop thinking about things tasting nice and just shove loads of stuff in a steamer, shove loads of stuff in a pot, and try and make like just like a casserole kind of thing. Just that's how I'd personally eat. I'd eat things like, if I needed a snack, I'd eat like bananas, nuts, seeds, like dipping apples in like almond butter, stuff like that. I'd probably eat fast food in terms of like healthy fast food. Thank you, I'm recovering and right now work 20 hours a week. I drive through a supermarket, but walking through a supermarket, my department exhausts me, getting better day and day though. Many thanks. Yeah, that's good, and supermarkets have those fluorescent lightings, and they're the ones that I used to have really, I don't know, just used to make me feel dreadful. I think you briefly heard you mention about personal hair loss during adrenal fatigue. Can you talk about your hair loss and personal recovery in that area, when you noticed a difference? Um, yeah, I have pictures of where obviously I used to shave my head because I just thought, fuck it, I'm never gonna have hair. I'll just accept it and shave my head. And as time has gone on, I started growing it just out of curiosity. And although I do still have like thinning, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was when I was ill. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell. Most people wouldn't be able to tell that I've had really bad thinning. I will say in the beginning stages of growing my hair, you could tell still, like you could still on my crown, you could still tell that I had thinning, but I used a hair fiber product made out of cotton to just cover it up in the beginning phase. But now I don't put anything in because I don't need it. When did I start to notice difference? Not even after I first recovered. It's probably a year or so after my recovery. Just slowly, I don't know, just slowly started getting better. I haven't done a video on hair loss though because I don't know if I want to give people false hope. Did you ever do acupuncture? Yeah, I did acupuncture a couple of times, didn't think much of it to be honest. Did you have abdominal pain? I've been improving overall but now have constant dull ache in the left side. Okay, if it's a constant dull ache, I would really investigate that further. I'm not going to comment about that, but I used to get horrific pains in my stomach. It felt like I'd swallowed broken glass. Really horrible. But it wasn't a constant thing. It was just usually after I ate gluten. Also, were you sensitive to any dips in the ground you will notice and everyone doesn't? I don't really know. If your husband helps you out, maybe I'd probably a lot of, yeah, like I said, fast things to eat that are healthy. Probably because a lot of people get stuck in this mindset of they need a meal, it needs to taste great, it needs to be this, that, and that, or it needs to be satisfying as soon as you eat it. And in the beginning, I really wasn't satisfied by what I was eating, because I was used to just eggs, cheese, milk, sugar, flour, and I cut them all out, and I was just eating loads of steamed vegetables with a bit of salt on, and I was just craving shit. But after a while, you just put your health before anything else. Could you do something like filming a video of what you eat in a day or week? I'm a lot better at the moment and want to improve my diet even more now that I have the energy for it. Okay. I say it all the time that I'll do it, and I need to get around to doing it. I might do it this week because I'm actually free this week. How did I gain weight? I just ate so much. I ate a lot in the beginning. I couldn't satisfy my cravings. When I first gave up gluten, I just felt like I couldn't eat enough. So I used to. People always. I ate a lot of nut seeds, almond butter. I used to eat a lot of bananas. I used to eat, things like. Uh, I used to eat a replacement for oats because I was sensitive to oats, and that was high calories. It was like made of like quinoa and stuff like that. I was probably eating 4 meals a day, 5 meals a day. Maybe not meals, but snacks at least. I was eating a lot. I did add pink salt to my water. I had no problem putting on weight though. A lot of people find it hard to put on weight, and I just can't understand it because I can put on weight really easily. I mean, I will say this, is that when I started to get better, my appetite increased a lot. At the beginning it was a lot, but it was more of a not feeling satiated, but as I got healthier, I just felt like I was starting to get my vitality back. I can't, it's hard to think back. What is it now? It's like over 2 years at each stage what happened. But in the beginning, I was eating a lot of steamed veg. I would eat, so you have a container like this that you put on a steamer, and I would fill that with asparagus, kale, spinach, tomatoes, anything I could get my hands on. Shove it in there, and I'd have that on the side of my meal, which would usually be some kind of beans, lentils, quinoa. At times when I felt like I was going to crack, I would eat these Clive pies, which were gluten-free and everything else. I used to eat the porridge supplement. I rarely ate. I didn't eat a wide variety of different meals. It was always very healthy and just making sure I was eating healthy. um, when I was putting sea salt in my drinking water, I'd literally use just a tiny pinch in a liter. I didn't put much in. I've been inactive for a while, so people have. It usually happens when I'm inactive on my channel. Not many people really check in with my channel, but I will get more consistent with my stuff. I've been away, and I've been thinking what subjects I'm going to talk about more in depth, and yeah, I might go away and do a video now actually instead of a stream. It's not many people. Yeah, right. Okay, guys. I might do a stream tomorrow or the day after, but I hope everything's alright with you guys, and I'll see you later.